Douglas Adams quotes. I may not have gone where I intended to go, but I think I have ended up where I needed to be. I love deadlines. I love the whooshing noise they make as they go by. The stories so far: in the beginning the universe was created. This has made a lot of people very angry and been widely regarded as a bad move. I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that I don't know the answer. There is a theory which states that if ever anyone discovers exactly what the universe is for and why it is here, it will instantly disappear and be replaced by something even more bizarre and inexplicable. There is another theory which states that this has already happened. The fact that we live at the bottom of a deep gravity well, on the surface of a gas-covered planet going around a nuclear fireball 90 million miles away and think this to be normal is obviously some indication of how skewed our perspective tends to be. The guide says there is an art to flying, said Ford, or rather a knack. The knack lies in learning how to throw yourself at the ground and miss. Don't panic. Time is an illusion. Lunchtime doubly so. A learning experience is one of those things that says, you know that thing you just did. Don't do that. A common mistake that people make when trying to design something completely foolproof is to underestimate the ingenuity of complete fools. Let's think the unthinkable, let's do the undoable. Let us prepare to grapple with the ineffable itself, and see if we may not F it after all. Would it save you a lot of time if I just gave up and went mad now? Isn't it enough to see that a garden is beautiful without having to believe that there are fairies at the bottom of it too? The ships hung in the sky in much the same way that bricks don't. Nothing travels faster than the speed of light, with the possible exception of bad news, which obeys its own special laws. He felt that his whole life was some kind of dream and he sometimes wondered whose it was and whether they were enjoying it. I'd far rather be happy than right any day. Space is big. You just won't believe how vastly, hugely, mind-bogglingly big it is. I mean, you may think it's a long way down the road to the chemists, but that's just peanuts to space. If there's anything more important than my ego around, I want it caught and shot now. You know, said Arthur, it's at times like this, when I'm trapped in a Vogon airlock with a man from Beetlejuice, and about to die of asphyxiation in deep space that I really wish I'd listened to what my mother told me when I was young. Why, what did she tell you? I don't know, I didn't listen. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, after a second or so, nothing continued to happen. You live and learn. At any rate, you live. This must be Thursday, said Arthur to himself, sinking low over his beer. I never could get the hang of Thursdays. I'd take the awe of understanding over the awe of ignorance any day. Ford, you're turning into a penguin. Stop it. Reality is frequently inaccurate. So this is it, said Arthur, we are going to die. Yes, said Ford, except, no. Wait a minute. He suddenly lunged across the chamber at something behind Arthur's line of vision. What's this switch? He cried. What? Where? Cried Arthur, twisting round. No, I was only fooling, said Ford, we are going to die after all. There are some people you like immediately, some whom you think you might learn to like in the fullness of time, and some that you simply want to push away from you with a sharp stick. If you try and take a cat apart to see how it works, the first thing you have on your hands is a non-working cat. The answer to the great question of life, the universe, and everything is 42, said Deep Thought, with infinite majesty and calm. Beethoven tells you what it's like to be Beethoven, and Mozart tells you what it's like to be human. Bach tells you what it's like to be the universe. So long, and thanks for all the fish. Anyone who is capable of getting themselves made president should on no account be allowed to do the job. It is a mistake to think you can solve any major problems just with potatoes. He attacked everything in life with a mix of extraordinary genius and naive incompetence, and it was often difficult to tell which was which. Don't you understand that we need to be childish in order to understand? Only a child sees things with perfect clarity, because it hasn't developed all those filters which prevent us from seeing things that we don't expect to see. One of the things Ford Prefect had always found hardest to understand about humans was their habit of continually stating and repeating the very, very obvious. We are stuck with technology when what we really want is just stuff that works. God's final message to His creation: we apologize for the inconvenience. He hoped and prayed that there wasn't an afterlife. Then he realized there was a contradiction involved here and merely hoped that there wasn't an afterlife.